Hey everyone, it's Jordan here for Liquor with Ticker Trading, and I just wanted to go over something that we saw this morning, a really simple example of support and resistance that I worked with a new chat room member, and I thought it would be a really good recap. So we're going to take a look at SSC. Their 1 minute chart is on the left here, their daily chart is on the right. So SSC last week had a pretty big gap up on some pretty big news about a deal that they had with a Chinese company, about a $24 billion market for some electric buses. Anyways, they had this huge gap up, they gave it all back, and then they turned it around over the next couple of days. And they moved from about $2 to almost $6 over the course of that week. So a lot of people were looking to get to the short side of this trade because it started to look overextended on this news. But where I started the trade was actually in the filings. So if we head over to sec.gov and we do a fast search for SSC, they did an S1A, which is an amendment to their registration filing. If we go into this document, you'll notice that they registered, and it is still subject to completion, up to 37.7 million shares of common stock to be diluted at a price of somewhere around 296. Again, all of these numbers can be changed, but they did an amendment to this filing. The shares are registered to be able to dilute at any point that they wish. So this morning, when we saw SSC heating up in the pre-market, okay, we took note of Friday's highs, 575. Okay, that was at 1:13 p.m. And then this morning, on super light volume around 7:30, it was above that 575 level. But when more normal trading and as pre-market goes along, it gets a little bit more respectful of typical technicals and fundamentals. So the volume starts to come in here. SSC actually ended up dipping and holding this 520 area where this new member, his name is Miguel, he dip bought it after the support wasn't breaking and rode it up. And we talked about at that point how 575 was a critical level from Friday. His was a paper trade, but we talked about the most simple example of a resistance level, which is Friday's highs. Okay, and unfortunately, it turned out to be a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy as when SSC opened, okay, and probably on the back of this registration of shares to be diluted news, SSC put in a push in the first two candles here. Okay, the open was 5.6, it got to 5.72, and it completely turned around, gave it all back. The next six candles there are very, very red to a low of 440. So what we talked about was respecting Friday's highs. If you see the level two on the level two, or if you see the momentum of the stock changing, trying to respect that and making sure you at least take a piece of your profits, especially if you're in from somewhere like 520, before it gets to that resistance level or when you see the momentum starting to turn. And then the only green candle it had amongst this fall was a low of 522, which was the morning support. So we were talking about if you could flip your bias and had taken SSC short like a lot of people were interested in doing, and then saw it starting to support again at the pre-market lows, you would do the exact opposite of what he had done on the long side. You may take a piece of your trade if you're able to scale in and out, take a piece of your trade off for profits, which were about 10% at that point, around the 520 pre-market support level, and then as it broke through, you can let the rest of your trade ride all the way down as far as your data may show. So it's a new trader. Okay, it was a very, very simple support and resistance example from pre-market lows and the high from Friday mixed with a little bit of SEC filings, but it brought a very lucrative and a very simple trading plan on a very volatile stock today. So thought I would map that out for you guys. Not overly complicated, but every bit of information is there for you as long as you are looking for it and you are ready to react for when these quick moves happen. Thank you very much.